Hello everybody, Washu here, and welcome to A Cold Love Story. This is based off of an internet creepypasta. They basically just applied anime characters to it, and I'm sure it's gonna fit great. I know literally nothing about this, but I thought that it looked interesting based off some comments I saw. So, let's do this. I sent the text to my friend Max. The bus was already 20 minutes late. It was late November, and it was cold. So damn cold. My eyes burned against the outside air, and each intake of breath was like swallowing razor blades. Everything was dim, tinted a dull blue, and all was eerily still, seemingly frozen in time. Mercury in the thermometers had settled to the bottom, stagnant and crystalline. I could see my breath as it shimmered against the thin air, warping and climbing upwards in despair before vanishing. Even in the trees, long dead with crooked, empty limbs, appeared to be shaking against the cold. Frost and ice glinted sharply in the faded sunlight, clinging on and threatening to overtake the trees. The occasional glimmer of sunlight seemed so distant, its hazy blue glow so utterly small and insignificant against the frozen vastness. The crunch of snow could be heard as I walked, a crisp, sharp sound cutting through what was otherwise dead silence. I stopped for a minute. It seemed as if I was the only one in this world. A world of cold, of stillness, of nothingness. Neither the heat of a friend nor the joy of the company existed here. I was taking note of this with my eyes closed, so as to keep them from freezing, when I began to hear the crunch of snow. Oh my God, look at her. Huh, Sarah? Strange for her to be late. You are not dressed warm enough. Like the one. Sorry. The little tiny hint of boobs. I'm gonna save. This looks like something already. Yeah, Sarah, strange for her to be late. I always met her at the bus stop, or at least had been for the past week or so. I was glad of it, too. I used to hang out with my good friend Jenna, but she hadn't been showing up for the past week, murdered. And now it was just Sarah to keep me company. She was absolutely beautiful, sweet and funny too. But for some reason, I never really saw her with any friends. I suppose this was because she had moved here to Colorado. We're in Colorado? Oh shit, it does get cold in Colorado. That, and because all the guys I knew were too afraid to even talk to her. I guess that's why she stuck with me all this time. Dude, she's out here in a fucking t-shirt. In fact, she actually seemed extremely lonely. Interesting. Oh shit. I'm just staring at her. Wave awkwardly and say hello. Just look away and wait for her to reach you. Hey girl. What's up? Hey. Haha. Hi, John. So, weather, right? Ha ha ha. Good one, John. Giggles with my beret. It's good to see you, John. No matter how cold it is, this girl is gonna. You know the French girls, the girls who learned French in high school, and then they're like, "I'm totally French," and then they put on a beret. This is what I'm getting from her. It's good to see you, John. Haha, good to see. Whoa, wait, what? Sarah, you're just wearing a t-shirt and short shorts? Is she insane? Oh my god. Oh, I can't. Okay. Hold on. Did you not have time to offer your coat? Are we gonna go for offer your coat? You're crazy. Please, take this. Oh my. You're too sweet. Thank you. Sure. Happy to help, Sarah. But, what's gotten into you? The bus is already really late. It might not be coming at all. You had plenty of time to get a coat. No, I wanted to use your coat. What? I have no idea what to say to that. She's never acted like this before. Do not go to this girl's house. Why is she being so weird all of a sudden? Sarah? I guess let's just smile at her? She's hitting on us. So we're just gonna smile and nod. Ask her why she's acting different. I really want that one. Okay, just smile and nod for now. Giggles. Won't you be cold now? Her hand forcefully grabbed mine. Uh-oh. My mouth moved, but words were nowhere to be found. It's okay. I'll just freeze to death. She began taking off my coat in horror, meaning to give it back. Okay, safe. No, you can't die! Wait. I cried in panic. I was joking. I grabbed her arms and tried to stop her. The instant my hands closed around her, her face flushed bright red. She stopped in her tracks. Uh-oh. Sarah? I let go of her instantly. Her sudden grin was so horrific and out of place I felt my skin blister with ice. It crawled across her face like a disease, eating away at her flesh and peeling back cold lips. Hey Sarah, why were you late today? Where the hell had this come from? It was incredibly disturbing, so much so that I began to sweat despite the cold. I had to do something. Anything. To get rid of this ghastly expression. Ask if she's excited for school. Can you stop doing what you're doing? Sarah, cut that out. What the fuck has gotten into you? You're acting different. Me? John, don't change. Don't be like the others. Don't change. Right? John? Don't you agree this is best? For everyone? What? You remaining unchanged, you'll be peaceful, like everyone else. There is no school today. Can't you tell? The bus is not coming. It's a snow day. Giggle. The twisted grin continued to stretch her face further and further, eating away at her pale skin. The wind howled and crystalline needles bit at my exposed skin. Suddenly she laughed, grabbing onto my waist. You better stay close, otherwise you'll catch a cold. My mind was in full retreat mode now as I began backing up. I tried to wiggle free of her grasp, saying, Haha, yeah. Okay, maybe we should try to talk our way out of this one. Or should we just take it? I'm getting the feeling that we should just take it. If we run away from her, we are going to die. I know that. Okay, let's try to be... Let's remain calm for this one. She snuggled in closer and closed her eyes as I tried to steady my breathing. My hands were in the air, body rigid and taut as my heart convulsed with unease. I drew several shaky breaths and looked down at her. Her smile now appeared rather peaceful. Oh, good choice. Was that really all that bad? A lot of guys I knew would have done anything to be in this position. She just wanted to see me was all. Yeah, it was actually kinda sweet of her. Albeit a little drastic. That's when I saw the dark crimson stains on her legs. Is that blood? Uh-oh. Let's go to your house. Nuh-uh. We're going right to the police station. Absolutely not. She suddenly squealed, ignoring my horror. Don't you need your coats? I'll take them for you. Ignore the signs in the green. Push her back and demand an explanation. Push her... Okay. Okay, it's time to man up. Sarah, what the fuck is that? Oh my god. Why the is there blood on you? As she stumbled back, her eyes flashed with horrid gray, hands twitching at her side. She said nothing. Her eyes stared straight forwards, but convulsed with gruesome inability to focus on anything. As if her eyelids were stretched open and stretched over a wire frame, she didn't so much as blink. Hello? Sarah, answer me. She remained utterly stagnant. Not a word crawled over her from her horrid lips. Ask again, more forcefully. Sarah, we're not going anywhere until you fucking explain yourself. You're acting like a psycho. I'm about to call the police. Why is there blood on you? She remained dead silent, skin pulsing with sickly gray. Stop. Changing. You accept me? Her hand twitched. Back down. Apologize. Call the police. I slowly reached into my pocket, continuing to back up as I pulled out my phone. The blood, John. I can't even remember. So many people. Sudden sharp crack slashed my vision to black. The world exploded in warmth, vile, boiling warmth. I coughed, finding that nothing but more warm liquid rushed from my lips. The rush of short-lived warmth rapidly decayed into cold. Ice cold. Everywhere. You are dead. Uh-oh. All right, don't man up. Try again. Okay, well, good thing we saved. Let's see. Blood. Let's see. We do need to address what it is, though. Maybe this will give her an opportunity to, explain herself? Or are we going to ignore it? I don't think this one's going to work. She's going to get all suspicious and be like, he definitely sees the blood on my legs. Carefully ask what this substance is. Hey, Sarah? Please just tell me if that's blood on you. You're really worrying me. Ah, it's not. Oof. Let's question a little bit more. What is it then? Sarah, that looks a lot like blood. Please understand, I'm just worried about you. You wouldn't understand. Not yet. No. That's nowhere near good enough, Sarah. What the uh-oh. What the fuck is that? Okay, I think that we're gonna get exactly the same thing. Yeah. What happens if we do this one this time? Jesus, Sarah. I'm sorry. Are you okay? You're scaring me. But we're friends. I trust you. And, we can't stay out here forever. We'll freeze to death. It makes me nervous, but if you really want to come over... I began walking hesitantly. I felt sick, torn between concern and fear. But surely she was just having an off day. Or messing with me in a cruel, drawn-out joke. There was an explanation here somewhere. Being suspicious of her was getting me nowhere. She clung to me tightly as we walked. I tried desperately not to shiver and send her on another episode. Uh-oh. I think we need to avoid all of the episodes. She's going to be like a boiling pot, and when it steams, she's going to kill us. We were nearly to my driveway when my phone suddenly buzzed. It emanated a soft ding. Stealing a glance at the screen in my pocket, I could see it was Max. He had finally texted me back. Oof. I just left it in my pocket, feeling Sarah's hand softly grip mine. It wasn't 3 steps later that I was suddenly jerked back, almost loosing my balance on the slick ice. Uh-oh. I turned around to see that Sarah had stopped cold. Her hands gripped so tight around my own that I could almost see the bones breaking. I let out a gasp of pain and... What? Tried to pull my hand free, but she wouldn't allow it. Who was that? The usual cheer was all gone from her voice. She thinks it's a girl. You think I wouldn't notice? Who was that? I don't know. I have no idea, Sarah. Why does it matter? You're kind of acting insane. Are you hearing yourself? I have no idea who it was, but you shouldn't care anyway. What the hell is wrong with you? Wrong with you today? I care because conversing with others will corrupt you. Only I can understand what is happening to you. Only I can prevent further corruption of your soul. Save you. Save everyone. I've learned that only in one state can others remain unchanged. Death, John. You will not be corrupted. Are you talking to others? Are you trying to leave me? What? If you're going to be such a psycho, then yes, let's run. Okay, never mind. Well, it was fun while it lasted. We got a hug. She turned out to really care about what was on her phone. Dude, we should have just told her that it was Max. She doesn't care. She does not care if a dude is texting us. You are dead. Very dead. So she has a knife? Is that what I'm getting? All right. Comment about the weather? So, pretty crazy storm, right? Storm? She questioned, straight-faced, eyes returning to focus. Yeah, I suppose that must be why the bus isn't coming. It's been too long. Where is it? It must be a snow day. Yeah, you're right, but I should have gotten an email. Strange that it didn't get through to... Did you kill the bus driver? That's when I saw it. A faint grin beginning to carve out her face again. Sheepish and hidden. Wait. Did you? I wouldn't have been able to see you. If you knew there was no school. That twisted grin continued to stretch her face further and further, eating away at her pale skin. The wind howled and crystalline needles bit at my exposed skin. Suddenly she laughed, grabbing onto my waist. You better stay close. We're gonna die again. Otherwise, you'll catch a cold. Okay. I think... No. Try to talk your way out. Hey, I think I'll just go home now, and maybe get some more coats. I'll see you tomorrow if the weather improves. Okay? Seemingly not hearing me, she snuggled in closer and closed her eyes. My hands were in the air, my body rigid and taut as my heart convulsed with unease. I drew several shaky breaths and looked down at her. Her smile now appeared rather peaceful. Was this really all that bad? A lot of guys would have done anything to be in this position. She just wanted to see me, was all. Yeah, it was actually kinda sweet of her, albeit a little drastic. Okay, dark crimson stains. Okay. Let's go to your house. Let's try this one more time. How do you skip forward to the next question? believe her. Oh, alright. I'm still a bit concerned, but I trust you. We're friends after all. And, we can't stay out here forever. We'll freeze to death. Makes me nervous, but if you really want to come over... I began walking hesitantly. I felt sick, okay. Let's see. Let's ignore it, but let's just tell him that it was Max. Okay. Ooh, maybe... Wait, hold on. This doesn't imply either person. But maybe she can tell if we're lying. Lie. It's just out of batteries. No one. My phone just died. Sorry. Why do you lie? Why do you lie to me, John? Oh, what? That is your text tone. I know the sound your phone makes when it dies. And it's not that. You are lying to me. Huh? How do you? I also have your mother's phone, John. I took it from her. You two share the same phone. In the same message tones. You think I wouldn't know? I am too late for you. I am too late. Okay. She has my mother's phone. How long has she been pretending to be my mother? Is all of this action happening right at the same time? Or has this been developing over time? What is happening? We haven't tried this one yet. Ignore the substance and agree. I began walking hesitantly. Okay, we've already seen this. Okay, this time? Huh. Let's look at the message. I don't think she's gonna believe us no matter what. Look at the message. I slowly wiggled the phone from my pocket with my left hand, as my right was still in Sarah's vice grip. I was still walking as I brought the phone up when I suddenly jerked back, almost losing my balance on the ice. Okay. It's Max. Read the message. It's Max. My friend? I drew a breath, still cringing in pain as I opened the message from him. He was just telling me about... Yeah, of course I'm at school. Where the hell are you? Oh, my blood froze. I stared at the screen as my chest tightened. Telling you what? I turned to look at her, my hands beginning to shake, having nothing to do with the cold. I'm sure my face showed my horror and confusion, but if she saw, she didn't let on. I could feel her chilling gaze stabbing my numb skin. Telling you what, John? This isn't gonna work, because she can tell. Confront her about what Max said. He told me he's at school, Sarah. I slowly turned to face her, eyes narrowing. Today is not a snow day. My heart was hammering, the only sound in this barren wasteland. He's lying. Her expression grew even darker, needle teeth flashing in the dim light. Max is always lying. Okay, probably take her side, huh? Max is probably just playing a joke, lying about the school day. Well, yeah, that's kinda true, actually. He was probably just playing a joke on me. It wouldn't be unlike him to get me all worked up about a school day that didn't exist. Sorry for doubting you. Oh my God, we lived. Slowly, her cute face reappeared and her grip lightened as she smiled at me. We began walking again. What do you think of him? There was still a hint of malice in her quiet voice. What? Max, is he a good friend of yours? Yeah, I guess. I mean, I've known him for a while is all. Her hands slowly balled into tight fists, nearly crushing my own hand as she muttered something under her breath. "We live on a farm?" That's when she turned into my driveway and started walking down. Yeah, just make yourself at home. Leading me. How did she know where to turn? How did she know this was my driveway? Ignore it. I took a few long breaths and tried to calm myself down. I'm cold. We should go inside. My lungs were shaky and weak. My breath's doing very little as I talked to myself. It must have been a misunderstanding. I'm not even sure I believed that myself. But it was better than thinking of the alternatives. Has she been following us home? People didn't just snap like this. There was more going on here. Pushing Sarah away wasn't going to get me any closer to an Anwar. And besides, I actually was going to freeze to death out here. Say nothing, just go inside. As we began walking down the driveway to my house, I looked at her and took a heavy breath, calming my nerves. I only hoped that her strange behavior had subsided for good. We trudged through the softly accumulating snow. I'd been too lazy to shovel it, with my parents having left for Hawaii a week ago. Oh, Hawaii? Hell yeah. They're just leaving you here in the fucking freezing cold. Ironically, as much as it pissed me off to imagine them on a beach while I was stuck here, I was insanely glad that neither of them would be home for a few days so I wouldn't have to explain to Sarah to them. We reached the door and I fumbled for my key. I finally grasped it, unlocked the door, and jumped inside before too much warm air escaped into the bitter cold. We are so dead. Oh, nice! Dude! Roaring fire? I immediately started up a fire, not realizing how cold I had been until that moment. I looked over at Sarah, taking off the jackets and folding them neatly before placing them down gingerly by the entrance. Her movements were strained. Her spindly limbs tired and weak. She appeared to have a normal mental state now. Uh-oh, no she's not. But as she finished up, her eyes glanced at me. I couldn't help but tense a little. Hey, Sarah. My heart had begun to pound, distrust and fear suddenly reclaiming me. What if, did she know where my room was? That might be a way to check on whether or not I'm overreacting. Grab a hoodie from my room. Could you maybe go to my room and grab me a hoodie? Anything for John, she cried with a big smile, turning to go. She took several steps further into the house. Her pale form walked deliberately at first, but her pace gradually devolved into a strange, staggering motion before she eventually came to a complete halt. Still facing away from me, her icy voice quietly seeped out. But, I don't know where your room is. Nuh-uh, you do too. I felt a huge wave of relief. Thank God. I felt bad for ever doubting her, for giving her such a dumb test. Sorry, it's right up the... I suddenly stopped myself. You know what? I'll just get it myself. I need to stop being so lazy anyway. What was wrong with me? I apparently still felt like I couldn't trust her. But I just couldn't stop myself. I didn't believe her. I wanted to know if there was really no school. I wanted to know why she'd been acting so strange. The only thing holding me back was the fear of such a question bringing back that other smile. That deranged face. Alright then. I'll be right back then. I quickly ran up the stairs to my room and got Father's sawed-off shotgun. I grabbed my doorknob only to recoil in shock. It was freezing. I could feel a draft of frozen air seeping out from under my door. She killed both of our parents and put them in our room, and then opened the door and climbed out the window. I gingerly grabbed the handle with my fingertips and slowly opened it, letting loose a blast of frigid air. It felt like a window had been left open. She was looking at us when we were sleeping. Now that I thought about it, I remembered my room being freezing that morning as well, and really quite drafty for the past week. Huh. Check the windows. Nothing. All the windows were closed tight. I would probably just have slept downstairs by the fire until I figured out the problem. I quickly grabbed my hoodie and closed the door to my room. I walked back downstairs. Sarah was gone? Hey? Sarah? Where the hell had she gone? Hello? A sudden clattering sound resounded from the kitchen. My heart spasmed at the sudden noise, my hand rushing to clutch at my chest. I cautiously walked towards the kitchen, my heart pounding despite my attempts to control it. There was no one inside. My eyes narrowed. Was that a pan on the floor? That must have been what caused the sound. Hey, Sarah? Sarah? Hello? Where are you? No response. I hesitantly peered back into the living room, walking slowly. Where the hell was she? That's when I suddenly heard someone descending the stairs. I whirled around to see Sarah bounding down them, slinging her backpack over her shoulder. It seemed to be empty now. What the hell? Where'd she even come from? What had she done? Hey, Sarah? What did you just put in my house? What's in your backpack? What were you doing? Sarah, what the heck were you just doing up there? It's a surprise, John. Her smile flashed across her face, once again appearing wrong. That won't cut it. I want to know what you were doing at my house. I don't want a surprise. Explain yourself. You're ruining it, John. I wanted you to be surprised. It's something that will make you happy, I swear. Do I really have to ruin it? Yes. Of course, Sarah. Tell me. It's our bus driver. I brought her over here. Just for you. What? What do you mean? My backpack isn't very big, John. I couldn't quite take all of her. You like faces, right, John? I usually remove the face so they can't look at me. But you like the way they look at you. Don't you, John? Just how I like the way you look at me. So I brought that for you. I'm sorry I ruined the surprise for you. What do you think, John? What do you think? Uh-oh. Where did we fuck up? I yanked my hand from hers with all my might. Sarah, who are you? She looked devastated, staring at her empty hand, not saying a word. Her irises shook slightly, her face becoming hollow, whatever color she had disintegrating into a gray slag. Who the hell are you really? Why do you know where I live? No. School today. She muttered to herself, eyes once again distant and dim, as she fumbled around and tried to reach for my hands blindly. I wanted just the two of us. Why do you have your backpack if you weren't planning on going to school? Why are you acting so insane? She chose to ignore all of this and instead found my hands again, gripping them tightly and smiling crookedly. In the most unnatural way, She didn't seem to be feeling emotions and yet carved them into her face all the same. It was as if she was trying to imitate expressions she had seen others express. I took a few long breaths and tried to calm myself down. I'm cold. We should go inside. My lungs were shaky and weak, my breaths doing very little as I talked to myself. Man, must have been a misunderstanding. I'm not even sure I believed that myself. But I was better than thinking the alternatives. People didn't just snap like this. There was more going on here, and pushing Sarah away wasn't going to get me closer to an answer. And besides, I actually was going to freeze to death out here. Hey, gosh, Sarah, I'm sorry. This whole day has been a bit weird, I guess. I keep thinking strange thoughts, like I'm paranoid or something. I don't even understand it, but you don't deserve to be treated that way. I know you've been having trouble fitting in at school. The last thing you need is me acting strange. What is our relationship to Sarah? Why are we friends with her? We're kind of friends with her, right? I'm sorry. Hey, listen, Sarah. Thanks for being with me today. It would certainly be cold with or without you, but at least this way it's not boring. I like hanging out with you. So, thanks and I'm sorry. Oh, she's back to normal now. My heart warmed as I saw her face shift ever so slightly. As if waking from a dream, her eyes glanced around, taking in her surroundings for the first time. Her sunken, lifeless features slowly ebbed away as, for the first time today, a believable smile flickered into view. One that didn't appear forced or fueled by delusions. No problem, John. Thank you. Backstory. Hey, Sarah. Yeah. Saving because backstory. What? Saving because backstory. I think we can go back one. Could you maybe tell me a little about yourself? What? You don't have to, but I just want to maybe, a little more about you. I guess. Okay, John. I don't like talking about it, but I can give you some drawings. I'm not very good. Promise me you won't look at them until later. I'm gonna look at them right now. I'm gonna look at them right now, Sarah. I promise. Okay, Sarah. I'll just put these in my backpack for now. I'll look at them later. Thank you, John. Okay, as we began walking down the driveway to my house, I looked at her and took a heavy breath, calming my nerves. I only hoped that her strange behavior had subsided for good. Okay, we trudged through the softly accumulating snow. It'd been lazy to shovel it. Okay, because Hawaii. I was insanely glad neither of them. Okay, fumbled for my key. What did we do wrong in here? We didn't get the backstory before. Let's not quiz her this time. I don't think we should. Never mind. Never mind. I'm just gonna go get a jacket from my room real quick. Do you want anything? I'm okay, John. Thank you. Alright then. I'll be right back then. Okay, quickly ran up the stairs to my room. Grabbed the doorknob, only to recoil in shock. It was freezing. I could feel a draft of frozen air. Okay, same. How did this wind... What is open in here causing all of this frozen air to get in? Well, we're gonna ignore it this time. I better just grab my coat and get back to Sarah quickly. I'd probably just have to sleep downstairs by the fire until I figured out the problem. What could be causing a bunch of cold air to come in that isn't the window? Is there like a hole? She sawed a hole with a carpenter's saw and is looking through it with her eyes. I quickly grabbed my hoodie and closed the door to my room. I walked back downstairs. Sarah was gone. Hey? Sarah? Where the hell had she gone? Hello? Sudden clattering sound resounded from the kitchen. Okay. This time, let's go check the room again. I ran back to my room. There was no one inside. Okay. Go back to the living room. I hesitantly peered back into the living room, walking slowly. Where the hell was she? That's when I suddenly heard someone descending the stairs. How did she get upstairs? We just went up the stairs. She's a ninja. I whirled around to see Sarah bounding down them, slinging her backpack over her shoulder. It seemed to be empty now. What the hell? Where'd she even come from? What had she done? Ask her to leave. Oh my god. I have to. Sarah, you have to go. I'm sorry, but I just can't take it anymore. You're acting too strange. Okay, John. I have something to do. Anyway. I'll see you later. She dashed out of my house before I could respond. No. Not see you later. Get out of my house. Right now. We didn't even go look at what it was. It was now well past 12. The school would have called by now about my absence if it had been a school day. Would have called by now about my absence if it had not been a school day. I let myself relax a little more. But it wasn't quite enough. The entire day was just a little too much to handle. Maybe I was just worrying too much. Do chemistry homework. Ask about the school day. Do chemistry homework. Watch TV, dude. I sat on the couch, mindlessly flicking through the channels. Hell yeah. There was nothing good on. My phone suddenly buzzed. What? Who could be texting me? I hadn't texted Max. Pulling up my phone, I realized it had just run out of batteries. This had gone on far enough. Even if there was school today, Max would have been home by now. For him to keep this joke up so long. Check to see you land my nice messages. Nothing. Okay. I care more about this. Call his house directly. Groaning, I stood up and picked up my house phone. I punched his number in and brought the phone to my ear, as if anybody remembers other people's numbers anymore. Dial tone. I tried again. Dial tone. Frustrated, I looked at the monitor. No service, it read. She got our wire to our house. What? It was a landline. How was that even possible? It must have something to do with the storm. I suddenly realized that I should have been checking the news. There would hopefully have been some information on the possibility of school tomorrow. At this rate the storm was going, it wasn't likely. Check the news. I flipped to the channel. Bus massacre. My heart practically stopped. I only heard the tail end, not releasing images or further details regarding the bus incident. Then the camera switched and they began talking about highway conditions. I felt an absolutely horrible sickness gripping me. It couldn't be, could it? Surely that little dialogue I had heard couldn't have been about. That would be ridiculous. I wasn't even sure what I heard. I was definitely overreacting, after all. Someone would have called me worried about the massacre. School didn't report the absent. Not if the police aren't releasing details about where and when it took place. School didn't report me absent. That's because my house phone isn't getting service. Max was just playing a joke. Then why didn't he ever text back? She has his phone. She has his phone too, doesn't she? Nothing I said to myself made me feel any better. I tried in vain to calm myself down, but quickly realized that I had to know for sure. The house shook with gusts of wind, tremors being sent down every dark hallway. I stood up from my couch, slowly glancing at the snow beginning to plaster the windows. Although gray and dull, the flakes seemed to glow against the oppressive darkness as nighttime fell. I secured every layer I could find, grabbing my flashlight and taking several deep breaths. We are so dead. The frigid night air seemed to ripple with heat distortion as the door swung open. I locked the door behind me and fumbled the keys into my pocket with shaking hands. I began walking the route the bus would have taken, my pace slow, the sickness growing worse with every crunch of snow under my feet. The dim light from my house was becoming more and more distant, disappearing altogether as I turned a corner. It was now just me and the flurry of snow. Did we at least get a coat? The skeletal trees surrounding me groaned against the wind. Their twisted black shapes were silhouetted against the deep hue of the night. I hadn't seen another house for some time now. The families in my neighborhood were exceedingly spread apart, and the empty stretches of road seemed to snake on forever at points. More often than not, the snowplows didn't even find the time to drive as deep into the community as I was going. I slowly came to a stop, hesitation shaking my heart. Keep going. I couldn't stop here. I'd come this far. It was snowing quite heavily, but I was still certain I would be able to faintly see the tracks of the bus if it had driven anywhere. Despite this, I hadn't seen its tracks in over a mile. Ordinary cars rarely drove up the way I was walking, and yet I noticed the roadway was layered with tracks of smaller vehicles. They looked fresh. And that's when I saw something ahead, barely visible in the haze. Lights, flashing red and blue just around the next bend. Whatever sanity I had left was quickly draining. I approached the lights and peeked around the corner. There, surrounded by ambulances and police cars, a mangled mess of metal and shattered glass, sat the bus I'd been taking for nearly 4 years. The windows were caked with blood, which was still dark crimson red, perfectly preserved in the cold. The once hot, steaming liquid and frozen solid to splintered glass, encircling small bullet-sized holes. She shot the bus up? The ambulances were stuffed with body bags as the surrounding street was scattered with a few severed limbs. I swore I could see steam softly rising from the dead white appendages, as they were ever so slowly covering in drifted snow. There were several police officers conversing amongst themselves. Surely, I couldn't be caught here. I looked downright suspicious. Was it worth listening closer? Listen to the officers. I snuck slightly closer, carefully measuring my steps. I could only make out a few words in jumbled phrases. Hacksaw. Removed post-mortem. A few pieces missing. One of them suddenly stood upright, gaze darting around the surrounding area. I staggered back, blind terror forcing me into retreat. I began sprinting back to my house, trying to keep my stomach down as my heart lurched rapidly. I reached my front door and frantically fumbled for the key with my numb fingers, looking behind me into the inky darkness. I finally got the key in the lock and turned it. But suddenly, a knock on glass, coming from above me. I looked up slowly, heart pounding. There, in the window above me, the window to my room, I couldn't see much of anything. The light was off, which was a problem, because I knew I had left it on. Oh, fuck. Was that Sarah? The realization made me stumble back, fear negating my ability to breathe for a second. Her face had been pressed up against the glass, but it was so wrong, horrific. That horrible, gut-wrenching smile on her face. How the hell did she even get in? I swallowed hard. Sirens droned behind me in the distance. It was time to make a choice. Okay. I could run back to the police, save myself, put this entire thing behind me, never learn anything about what happened here on this cold day. Or I could go inside. Go inside. I took a deep breath. Sarah? Hello? What are you doing in here? My voice trailed off. A wind gust shrieked outside, dim moonlight dancing through the empty rooms of the house. If Sarah was still inside, she wasn't saying anything. Wait, what the hell is that noise? It sounded as if something was falling downstairs. Something heavy. I could only see the base of the stairs, so unless it fell on the way down. You didn't give me time to prepare this one like the others. Which is a shame. After all, you said he was your friend. The ghoulish head dripped softly in the darkness. It was so pale and mangled that I didn't immediately recognize it as Max's. A horrific expression was forever imprinted on his face as his eyes stared straight ahead, wide and unblinking. There. What are you doing on the ground for? Are you sick? Catch a cold? Sarah will make it all better. Isn't that right, John? Right, John? You need me to make you better. Make you better. Watch your feet on the steps. Don't let go of my hand. Shush, it's okay. It's cold in here, you know. Maybe if you just held me. My, friends. John's friends are all here. Mrs. Bus Driver Lady is over there in the corner. You don't need anyone but me. Others will try to change you, corrupt you. But I didn't want you getting in lonely either. Not like me. So I kept your friends here. Most of Jenna is in your closet. I cut a hole in your roof above the closet, so she could stay there longer. Room temperature is no good for friends. It must be cold, like outside. I've let her be with you all week, but there is only me to love now. Don't you understand how I am protecting you? I love you, John, much more than your parents. Your parents wanted to leave you, but I made them stay with you. Made them stay. Under your bed. Don't you understand? I began thrashing around, trying to scream, but only letting out strangled squeaks. She giggled and interlaced her fingers with mine, pinning my arms down and bringing her face inches away, grinning from ear to ear. Her head was tilted to one side, her dull gray eyes swirling with darkness. Only me to love now. John loves me now. No, you're so funny. John loves me and I love John. So much. And if his face looks at me with nothing but disdain, I can change that. I will change that. If he has no face, I can imagine whatever expression I want. You will smile. You will love me. Oh my God.
Collapse into unconsciousness, fainting black. I am plagued by agony I cannot endure, gripping onto the last breath. I see nothing lingering still.
Thanks for beta testing. I'm playing the beta? I couldn't find a more recent version anywhere. Ignore it. Offer hot chocolate. Hey, Sarah. Welcome back. Hey, John. She smiled cutely. So if you're staying for a bit, how about some hot chocolate? Or something else? It's whatever. Haha. Sure. So long as it's okay with you. Do you like hot chocolate, John? Sure. Way more than coffee. Then I like it too. I'll make some for you. Alright. Haha. Thanks, Sarah. Sure. You're so dead. Anything for John. Yay. We walked into the kitchen, Sarah taking the lead. Before long, she'd made some hot chocolate, using water and my little packets of mix. Nothing fancy. She held her own cup down at her side, eyes trained on me. How is it, John? My chest tightened. What was this feeling? Oh, it's pretend to drink? I slowly lifted the cup, taking a small sip. Haha, tastes great. Very hot chocolatey. Her eyes again cleared slightly, a sort of calming sanity washing over her. Oh. Hey, Sarah. Yeah, John. Listen, I may have looked at those pictures you gave me. No, listen. It's okay. I had no idea. I'm so sorry, Sarah. And listen. If it means anything, I promise. I'll never let something like that happen to you again. No one deserves any of that. I really appreciate you showing me all of that. But there's more, isn't there? This time, you really can't look until later, okay? All right. Alright, I won't look until later. Thank you so much for being so open. No. Thank you. She dashed out of my house before I could respond. Her form disappeared into the frozen wasteland, slamming the door behind her. I sat stunned for a good minute. Where the hell did that come from? She hadn't even taken a coat with her. Imagining her in just a t-shirt in that brutal cold made me want to run after her. But I knew she was long gone by that point. Oh, okay. So are we branching back with the main story now? Made them stay under your bed. Don't you understand? Okay. I think I do. What? I understand. You. We are definitely saving. You. How did you? I don't, You do understand. I, love you. But after everything I've done, what do you think of me? I will accept it. Whatever you say. No matter what. I have to turn you in. Sarah, you are broken. You're a murderer, and you clearly delusive beyond repair. I think you've been pushed too far, and I simply can't help you. I don't think anyone can. I'm going to have to turn you in. It's for your own good. If you think so. Then I accept. Oh, bad end. He killed. We got killed. I think. I think that was us. Or was it Max? No idea. Alright. I won't leave you. Sarah, you're broken. You're a murderer, and those lives you took can never be replaced. You need to first understand this. Your delusions have cost me everything. But I don't think you're beyond repair. and for anyone to not try to help you pass this. Sarah, I'll never look at you the same again, but I'm not going to leave you alone in this. What you've done is wrong. The way you think it makes me fear for your life, as well as the lives of others. Which is why I can't let you out of my sight ever again. From now on, we're in this together. I won't let you hurt another person, and I won't let anyone ever hurt you. What do I think of you? I suppose I'll come to find out. I don't think you know what love is. I think your delusions have warped the term. For me to say I love you back, it would be wrong. But I will say this, I certainly hope we can come to love each other. You're beautiful, and while your heart may be tainted by a past you can't control, I stand by my earlier statement. You're not beyond help, not beyond repair. You're not lost. I'll not lose you. No matter what. I would like that. Very much.
Angels whisper to me, I'm crying out for deliverance. The end is near, my fate is sealed, my spirit is ready to part with my body, fade away, breathe no more as I pass on. The end is near, my fate is sealed, my spirit is ready to part with
Oh, good end. Look at that. All right, that's going to be it for A Cold Love Story. A very interesting concept, albeit a bit overly yandere. Well, maybe not overly yandere, because man, that is a very deep set of craziness. Actually, pretty much standard yandere now that I think about it. But it's always interesting when these twists come up in these games. So Sarah came from a family where she was born from adultery. I think it was, and her actual real father that she, or was it her adopted father? God, I don't even remember. Murdered people, and then she had to deal with the bodies. And then there was one time he was intoxicated. He ran over somebody and blamed her. And because she was completely desensitized to dealing with all of the murders or dealing with bodies, she killed her mom and dad with poison and then decided to take their faces off so she could imagine whatever expressions on their faces that she wanted. And then she made a friend with the protagonist, who was the only person that made her feel normal. And she didn't want him to change like she changed, so she just killed everyone in his life too. And I guess the good end is not turning her into the police, getting her into an institution and potentially helped, lots of medication and professional help. No, we're just gonna never let her out of our sight. I can only imagine how that would go wrong. So overall, definitely was a lot more crazy of a game than I was originally thinking it was going to be. I was impressed by the animation sequences and the anime-esque drawings. There was a number of different art styles that were incorporated into this one. And I'm also not sure if I guess I got a hold of the beta version. So if there was a newer version of this out there, I certainly could not find it anywhere. So my bad if I'm playing an older version and there's a newer one out. But at any rate, what did you guys think? Definitely a wild yandere story with a crazy girl and a somewhat normal guy. And I guess that's going to be it for now. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.